Good morning, students. In the last video, in the last presentation, we have studied about centripetal acceleration. While we are studying about uniform circular motion, we have derived the equation for centripetal acceleration. Centripetal acceleration is given by AC equal to V square by R, where V is the linear velocity and R is the radius of circular path. Now today let us learn one more important relation. Relation between speed and angular speed. Relation between speed and angular speed. Again we are studying the case of uniform circular motion only. Let us consider an object is under uniform circular motion. An object undergoing uniform circular motion as the earlier case, same case. Suppose it has started from point P at time t, and this is the center of the circular path, and O is the center as we have taken earlier, and this position vector of the particle, initial position of the particle is r1 vector. At some time t, suppose it has moved through a distance of delta s to a point p dash, and this gives us the position vector r2. r1 and r2 are the position vectors of the object at p and p dash respectively. P dash is at time t, this is at time t equal to 0. So the time taken here from P to P dash is, let us say, delta t is t minus 0. In this time interval, suppose the object has subtended an angle of delta theta. Let us say delta theta is an angle subtended by an object when it has travelled from P to P dash during its uniform circular motion. Then now we are defining a new quantity that is called as angular speed. How is the angular speed defined? Angular speed is defined as angular distance covered by time taken. Just like linear speed for an object moving along a straight path, we have defined speed as distance covered by time taken. Rate of change of displacement is called as velocity. Rate of change of distance covered is called as speed. In the same way, angular speed is with respect to angle covered. Linear speed is with respect to distance covered. Angular speed is with respect to angle covered. So, angle covered per unit time is called as angular speed. Here, the time taken is t, 0 to t. Let us take the time interval as delta t. So, angular speed is denoted by omega. We define angular speed as denoted by omega as the angle covered divided by time taken for that angle. Angle covered is delta theta and time taken is delta t. So we can define it as rate of change of angular displacement. Rate of change of angular displacement is also called as angular velocity. Since we are taking only the magnitude of angular velocity, so we are calling it as angular speed. Angular velocity is also vector quantity. What is the meaning of angular velocity? What is its direction? All these things we are going to learn in detail when we study rotational mechanics. That is in the forthcoming topics. After learning the laws of motion, then we learn gravitation. After gravitation, we are learning, before gravitation, we are learning rotational mechanics. That is system of particles and rotational motion. In that topic we are learning in detail about angular velocity. There we will discuss about what is the direction of angular velocity and all in detail. Now at this moment we will define what is angular speed. Angular speed as rate of change of angular displacement with respect to time. With respect to time. So angle displaced divided by time. So this is how we define angular speed. Now one more thing, please note down. Angle displaced is delta theta and the distance covered from P to P dash. Let us call this distance covered from P to P dash as delta S. Delta S is the length of this arc PP dash. Length of arc P dash PP dash. The length of arc PP dash, let us take it as delta S. That is the distance covered in the time interval delta t. Okay. Now we are defining what is speed. Speed is defined as distance covered divided by time taken. And we have mentioned here the time taken as delta t. So what is the distance covered here? Distance covered is pp dash, that is delta s. So linear speed or just speed is equal to delta s by delta t. Total distance covered by time taken. Okay, before we go to the linear speed, what is delta theta from this diagram? As we have stated earlier, the radius of this circular path is r. That is, earlier also we have assumed let r be the radius of this circular path. Now it means the magnitude of this position vector and the magnitude of r2 is nothing but the radius r, where r is the radius. Now we define one more quantity, that is delta theta. Look at this diagram. Delta theta is the angle separated by this arc delta s at the center. Angle separated by arc delta s at the center is delta theta. Using this definition of angle separated, I am going to find out what is the value of delta theta. See here, angle subtended by arc pp dash. Arc pp dash is equal to the distance covered delta s at the center is delta theta. We are defining this angle subtended as delta theta equal to arc length divided by radius. I think in maths you must have studied this. Angle subtended by an arc at the center is equal to arc length divided by radius. The arc length here is pp dash. Arc length here is pp dash and the radius here is r. And we have taken this pp dash as the distance covered delta s. Distance covered delta s by r. Therefore, I can write delta theta is equal to delta s by r. Call this equation 1. This equation 2. Now let us define what is speed. Speed of the object undergoing uniform circular motion is v. V is equal to delta s by delta t. Delta s by delta t. Total distance covered pp dash divided by total time taken delta t. Let us say time taken from p to p dash is delta t. Change in time t minus 0. That's it. Okay. Now substitute what is delta s from this equation. Using equation 2, we can write delta s as equal to r into delta theta. R into delta theta. Delta S is equal to R into delta theta. So substitute this here. That becomes R into delta theta by delta T. R into delta theta by delta T. What is delta theta by delta T? This from equation 1, angular speed. R omega. Remember, this term is not W, it is Greek letter omega. Okay, V equal to R omega is the new relation. Thus, we get important equation: linear speed V equal to radius multiplied by angular speed omega, or omega is equal to V by R, or omega is equal to V by R. This is the relation between linear speed and angular speed, right? So V equal to R omega. Now we are relating this with the important relation, that is centripetal acceleration. Now look at this. When the particle is undergoing uniform circular motion, it takes a fixed time interval to complete one revolution. Time taken to complete one revolution is denoted by time period T. Okay. If T is the time taken to complete one revolution, then what is the total distance covered by the object in one complete revolution? The total distance covered by the object in one complete revolution is 2 pi times the radius, 2 pi r. So using that equation also we can define what is linear speed. If t is the time period, what is time period? You can write in the bracket. Time taken for one complete rotation or revolution, for one complete revolution. This is called time period. This is also example of periodic motion. If you recall, what is periodic motion? Periodic motion is the one which repeats itself regularly by taking a fixed interval of time. So that fixed interval of time for which it completes one revolution is called as time period T. And what is the distance covered for one complete revolution? Distance moved by the object in one complete revolution. Distance moved by the object in one complete revolution is the total circumference. The total circumference 2 pi times the radius. Using this also we can define what is the speed. Then speed of the object. Speed of the object V equal to total distance divided by time taken. Total distance is 2 pi r. Time taken is capital T. Right? So this gives another relation for linear speed. Linear speed is V equal to r omega. Linear speed is 2 pi r by T. So this you can call it as V equal to r omega as equation number 3. 1. This you can call it as equation number 4. You also know that number of revolutions taking per second is called as frequency. If the particle is continuously undergoing uniform circular motion, how many number of revolutions it takes per second? Number of revolutions per second is called as frequency. If nu, see nu is the rotation. If nu is the frequency, what is frequency? Number of revolutions per second. Then we also know that nu is equal to 1 by t. From your previous knowledge, if you recall from 9th standard, nu is equal to 1 by t or t is equal to 1 by nu. Frequency is inverse of time period. Thus we get 1 by t equal to nu. If you substitute 1 by t in this equation, we get v equal to 2 pi r into nu. We get another relation 2 pi r by t, which is equal to 2 pi r nu. This we are going to substitute in the equation of centripetal acceleration. Once you substitute this in the equation of centripetal acceleration, you see it is v square by r. Thus it becomes 4 pi square r square nu square by r. 4 pi square r square nu square by r. So that becomes 4 pi square nu square r. One r cancels. Okay, call this equation number 5. So v equal to 2 pi r by t. 2 pi r by t becomes 2 pi r nu. Substituting this v equal to 2 pi r nu in the equation for centripetal acceleration. Thus, centripetal acceleration AC, which is equal to t square by r. Substituting this using equation number 5, we get 4 pi square r square nu square by r. 4 pi square r square nu square by r. So 1 r cancels. Thus we are getting 4 pi square nu square r. Therefore, AC centripetal acceleration is equal to 4 pi square nu square r. So centripetal acceleration, if you look at it, is directly proportional to square of the frequency. Thus, AC is directly proportional to square of the frequency. If frequency is constant, if the frequency of revolution for that uniform circular motion, if it is constant, then centripetal acceleration is also directly proportional to r. Okay, this is how we conclude from the discussion of uniform circular motion. So in the uniform circular motion, first we defined what is uniform circular motion. Then we concluded that uniform circular motion is an example of accelerated motion. After that, we found out what is the magnitude of centripetal acceleration. And then we found out what is the direction of that acceleration. Since the direction is always towards the center, radially inwards towards the center, so we defined it as centripetal acceleration. Then we found out what is the equation for centripetal acceleration. That is AC equal to v square by r, where v is the linear speed and r is the radius. And today we have learned what is the relation between speed and angular speed? We have defined new quantity, that is angular speed, as angular displacement by time taken. Angular displacement by time taken gives us angular speed, and thus we got the relation v equal to r omega. V equal to r omega. Substituting that v equal to r omega in this equation, we get 4 pi square r square mu square by r, where we got one more relation here, that is v equal to 2 pi r by t. For one complete revolution, the distance covered by the object for one complete revolution is 2 pi r, that is the circumference of the circular path, and time taken for one complete revolution is time period capital T. Therefore, linear velocity v equal to 2 pi r by t. And we also know that if number of revolutions per second is frequency, then frequency is equal to 1 by t. So if you substitute frequency equal to 1 by t, then it becomes 2 pi r nu. V equal to 2 pi r nu, and thus we get centripetal acceleration as AC equal to 4 pi square mu square r. This is the interesting result, and we can see from this one more result from equation number 5. From equation 5, this is about centripetal acceleration from equation 5. What is equation 5? V equal to 2 pi r nu. You can also write this as 2 pi nu r. Purposely I am keeping this 2 pi nu in bracket into r, and we got a relation between linear speed and radius, and one more quantity, angular speed. We also got that v equal to omega r. V equal to omega r. Comparing these two equations, what do you conclude? Comparing these two equations, what do you conclude? V equal to 2 pi nu r, v equal to omega r. So r is same here. Therefore, omega is equal to 2 pi nu. Thus, we get one more relation, omega equal to 2 pi nu, where omega is as defined here as angular speed. Angular speed is also called as angular frequency. Omega is also called as angular frequency. Angular frequency and angular speed both are same. And what is new? It is just frequency. How do you define frequency? Number of revolutions per second. Angular frequency, how do you define angular frequency? Angular frequency is defined as the total angle covered by the particle per second. It is called as angular frequency. Here it is in terms of number of revolutions per second. Here it will be in terms of angle covered per second. That is angular speed itself. Angle, I can write here. Frequency is measured in terms of hertz. Frequency is measured in terms of hertz, whereas angle covered per second in SI units is measured in terms of radians per second. Radian per second. Okay, what is radian and all? We shall study later in the next topic. Okay. SI unit of angle is not degree. SI unit of angle is radian. What is the relation between radian and degree we will study later. Okay, I think it is clear now. So one more relation. Angular frequency is equal to 2 pi nu, because nu is the linear frequency, omega is angular frequency. So this is all evident from these equations. So main point to be noted here is about the centripetal acceleration, which is denoted by AC. AC equal to 4 pi square mu square r. So meaning of all these equations will come to know only when we solve the numerical problems. So in the next presentation, in the next video, we will solve varieties of problems, various problems on uniform circular motion, and the topic will be concluded. Thank you. Have a nice day.